Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the November Mini Prints monthly live broadcast. Thank you so much for joining. And we're back to, yes, that's right. We're back to broadcasting in the dark. What a difference from last month. So much has happened in the last 30 days. But let me start off first by welcoming everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I would like to give Dave Hammer the cookie for being the first. And I'd also welcome Jennifer. You were second in. John was in soon after that. Stephen, welcome. Todd Armstrong, welcome. Who else is here? Andre from the Bluegrass State. Mike H.O. Trains, good evening. Who else has joined us? People are just streaming in. Mr. Train, good to see you. Nelson, lovely to see you. And Roger, hello from Oregon. Ron, hello. Ray Ron, haven't seen you in a while. Lovely to see you. Welcome everyone who's joining. And we have a great show this month with lots of new announcements. A really fantastic special guest who I will bring on at about the half-hour mark to talk all things regarding tractors. And let me close this window and get our next screen up because you know what time it is. It is. I figured you might tune in, Steve. Yeah, this is the evening of trains and tractors. But before we get to trains and tractors, let's talk beer. So as you all know, and I think everybody here has joined before, including Darby and Buddy, welcome. The first order of business is to pick a beer, and we've got 4 brand new beers from Henderson, the brewery across the street. I just ran over and grabbed them today. I don't know much about them because I was running a little bit late. The first one is called Night Wanderers. It's an English mild. It's 3.5%, and it doesn't say anything else on the label, but I really liked it. It's obviously their Halloween beer. Because we've got a black cat and a mouse, and it's got a bit of a spooky vibe to it. The second beer is called the Myth of Permanence. It's a Helles, H-E-L-L-E-S lager. I feel like I've looked up what a Helles lager is before, but I completely forget. It clocks in at, I think it says 4 point something percent. We'll make it up, say 4.9%. The third one has a story behind it. Yes, it is a pickle beer. It's a lager. It comes in at 5%. And this beer was specifically brewed for an event they have across the street called Pickle Fest. It is a weekend of a celebration of all things pickle across the street. And they brewed it last year. It sold out in 5 seconds. I ran across the street and I couldn't get one. This year, apparently, it's much better, but I have not tried it yet. I've not tried any of these. So this is a pickle beer, and apparently it's a beer that tastes like pickles. And the last beer is kind of interesting because if you've been watching for the past number of years, I've been looking at all these fantastic beers from across the street that have these crazy stories. It's part of what they call, let me see if I can get their Ides series. Okay, so there have been 100 different beers brewed in this series, all that have really unique and fun stories. This is the last beer, the 100th beer in the series. And I've had quite a surprising number of them on the show. So this is Ides 100. It's a 7% stock ale. And you'll see there's a gentleman on the cover. This is the original Henderson, as in Henderson Brewery. So the Henderson was the first brewer in Toronto, and he started brewing in, I believe it says, and it's too small for me to read, but I believe it was 1811 when there were only a few hundred people in Toronto. And that's who the brewery is named after, the first brewer. So those are the 4 beers. I'm going to go full screen here. Well, you pick them. I have my glass all ready. Let me know what you would like me to drink. Steve 87th is first in with his pickle. I've got some information on a Helles. Dave says Helles is lager is a German style beer that's pale in color, full bodied, slightly sweet with a balanced flavor of malt and hops. That is very good to know. My wife has voted for pickle, and she even found an emoji. Thank you, dear. Rayron, pickle, my wife. +1 for Night Wanderer. Okay. My wife wants me to get pickled. That's better than some of the things that you've said to me, dear. Let's see. Who else? So we've got 2 Night Wanderers. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pickles. Let's see. We've got 3. Another one for Hellas. All right. So far, it looks like the pickles are winning. I'm actually happy to drink all of these. And I promise you, Sean, I will try the stock as well. It really becomes which one I start first. Roger Cook says pickle. Steven says pickle. I think Jennifer had a pickle. All right. Well, hello, Paul from Florida. All right. Well, I think the pickles have it with Night Wanderer in second place. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to crack the pickle. I've never said that on the air before. I'm going to crack the pickle. I'm going to have a sip. If it's good pickle, I'll keep going. If it's bad pickle, yeah, there is such a thing, folks, as bad pickle. If it's bad pickle, or if it's green, I don't know if I can do it if it's green. Oh my God. Oh, geez. It smells like dill pickles. I'm going to move on to Night Wanderer, but I think this is good pickle. Hey, Jen. All right. So happily, it's not green. Let's see, Jennifer, if you're right. Is it good pickle or bad pickle? Okay. Oh. So here's what it tastes like. Imagine you've got a beer, a Heineken, Stella, whatever. Steve. Oh. So you're going to make me drink the whole pickle before I move on. Okay. Fair enough. I guess those are the rules. Imagine you had a regular, nice, inoffensive beer like a Heine. And then you went into your fridge and you grabbed the dill pickle bottle and you poured all the pickle juice into your beer. Yeah. You know, I don't mind the pickle taste. It's salty pickle. Well, live and learn. That's what I say. Shall we move on with the show? All right. Well, I knew I had to try the pickle beer. So the pickle beer has officially been tried. I'm not sure that that's something that I will ever do again, but it's not my favorite Henderson beer. Let's put it that way. Moving on. All right. Speaking of beer, this is an appropriate slide. Yeah. Just tonight, Sean, or is it always hard to watch? It's going to get better, I promise you. My pickle curiosity has been met. Yes, I am no longer pickle curious. I can clearly state that has said it all, and I will not go for the pickle beer again. All right. Speaking of beer, here is a beer that seems appropriate, and I drank the other day. Not my favorite beer in the world. However, welcome, Adam. Snow is crazy. Wow. Okay. It's about 70 degrees out right now. It's pitch black. which is a little bit depressing, but it is freakishly warm right now. We've got a heat wave. So enjoy your snow. I'm sure we will get it soon enough. I put the old Milwaukee up because I will be attending for the very first time Train Fest. And I've never been before. I'm looking forward to it. And I will actually be there scanning. I was right on the fence whether or not I was going to attend. I've never actually been to Milwaukee. And honestly, I'm treating the show more as a social opportunity to hang out with people. I know Michelle's going to be there. I know Dave's going to be there. I think that Lauren from Otter Valley is going. And I think Mike is going with him. Keep it on the tracks, Mike. So I think it's going to be fun to just hang out and see some people. I'm really looking forward to hanging out with the second section guys and doing a little rail fanning around Milwaukee. If you're going to be attending the show, I will have a booth. So absolutely stop by. It's more of an opportunity just to schmooze and hang out. I have 12 scanning spots available. 3 of them have sold, 9 are left. So we're 25% sold out. The idea behind the 12 scanning spots is really just to cover the cost of the booth and the hotel room. So I'm not too far out of pocket. If it's something you're interested, I won't be selling. I won't be bringing anything really. But if you're interested in getting scanned and you're attending TrainFest, you can sign up at miniprints.com/TrainFest. Or if you're attending and you don't want to get scanned, just pop by and say hi. I'm really looking forward to checking it out. And who knows, if it's a great show, maybe it'll become, a regular show in the schedule. The big attraction is the Railroad Hobby Show. And this is the one that I'm really getting ready for. So I've got my booth. I was talking to John, I guess yesterday or the day before. And this will be, as you all know, the main attraction. Good news. John will be my special guest next month. So the first Wednesday of every month, I go live. Sorry, I'm reaching over here. We are looking at the next show is Wednesday, December 4th. So Wednesday, December 4th, Mr. John Sacradotti, the show director of the Amherst Railway Society Model Railroad Hobby Show, is going to be my guest. And that's always fun. This will be the 3rd year, I think, that John has been on. I'm also super excited that we have a new location this year, and it is right in the center of crazy fun. So I guess it's going to be the intersection of, let's call it fun. Yeah, let's call it fun and crazy. Oh, or fun and wild. So I am in a corner in the middle of the show with ITLA, Model Railroad Hobbyist, myself, and Scenic Express. So that is going to be an absolutely fantastic location and a fantastic show. So something I'm really looking forward to. If you've never been, this is the show to go to. If you are a returning guest, then you know where to find us. And I will put the booking site up for the Railroad Hobby Show probably in the next week or 2. I just want to get the Milwaukee site up first. But there'll be a lot more spots for scanning at Springfield. And for the first time, I think there will be some mini prints available at Springfield, but more about that on the December show coming up next month. All right. So let's just pause for a minute. I will have a sip of pickle, unwillingly or begrudgingly, and let's see who has joined us. Sean's Pennywise and Miser Railroad, good evening. I saw you pop in. Adam, we've talked about your snow. Darby Rail Services, welcome. I saw you popped in. Who else has joined us? I see Bruce Wilson is in. Hello, Bruce. Good evening. Paul, Good evening. And let's move on with what's new in the world of mini prints. So this has been, let me see if I can get myself, no, I don't want that layout. Let's see, do I want this layout? Do I want this layout? No. All right, let's go full screen. You don't need to see me. Hello, Bradley from Salt Lake City. Yeah, Sean, I can't get my head around pickle beer either. And unfortunately, it's something that I have to at least get my lips around. It's unique. I'm very glad I tried it, and I don't think I'll do that to myself again. So in the last 30 days, there have been quite a few new mini prints, starting with the corn that I announced last month. The HO scale 3D printed corn is selling like corn. It's very popular, and I'm pleased to say for you N scalers out there, I have figured out how to print N scale cornfields. So that might be of interest. We also introduced some fantastic cast iron planters, black cats, which we gave out free for Halloween. The finally came out with the knight. All right, hang on. You want proof? All right. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. The knight to battle the dragon. So that is the dragon. Year of the Dragon that we came up with last year. And then the Dragon Slayer and inside the Crystal Cavern. So that was kind of all the stuff around Halloween. Then I continued to bring out some fantastic models. These are all models by the model mechanic, except for the roll top desk and chair, which are David Yell creations. So some of you might remember from August and September, October, that I picked up a number of artists who were selling on Shapeways, who are now selling through mini prints. And I will continue to feature some of their models as I sort through some of their things. So these are air compressors and welding torches, concrete mixer. This is an old style air compressor, all from the model mechanic. And then, of course, the David Yell desk that I mentioned. The rooftop units are from Focus Creative Studio. The model mechanic also came up with some beautiful Caterpillar diesel engines. I forget the actual model numbers, but we've got nice engines on the website. And this is really fun. This is something, and it's funny. I didn't think that anyone would go for it, but it's actually turned out to be really popular. This is Dorothy 1 from the movie Twisters, or Twister, I guess. And it was recently featured at the Oklahoma Train Show last weekend. They have a fantastic tornado scene, and they got one to go as part of that scene. So that's just a really, really fun little model. Bradley, you have a suggestion. You can either type your suggestion in the comments, or if anyone has a suggestion of what they would like to see, you can always contact me through the website or directly through email, bernard@miniprints.com. And I'll be honest, I'm backlogged on a number of suggestions. So I'm not quite sure when I will get to suggestions, but they are always, oh, I actually do have a backup generator. I have a backup generator that is like a gas powered generator called Portable Generator on the website. But I also am going to be adding some Generac generators. So the kind that sit outside commercial businesses. But if you type in portable generator or generator on the search bar of the Mini Prints website, you will find a small, like gas powered one, like the kind that you'd have, outside a home, but not the big industrial Generacs. All right, let's see. Oh, yes, this is also fun. And I think this is the last of the new stuff this month. The two of them are, again, Model Mechanics. Model Mechanic is making some really wonderful stuff. A Lincoln welder, that's the top red item on a trailer. So a portable Lincoln welder, a 7-foot by 16-foot landscape trailer. And I had a ton of fun. And I'll show you a couple things here. So let me go full screen. I was trying to come up with freight loads for Lorne. So these are metal baled freight loads that go inside of Lorne's scrap cars. And these were some prototypes that I was working on. And you might remember that we did these scrap metal trash loads for Lorne. They're available at Otter Valley, and they fit specifically inside his. Let me grab it. Beautiful cars. These are the OVR train trash gons. So we built these loads. You can get them on the Otter Valley website that go inside the trash cars. These are the, what are they? The 6,400, 6,000s, 6,000s, I think. So I was trying to come up with scrap metal and came up with this design. And I quite like it. These are 3-foot by 2-foot by 2-foot metal bales. The problem is there was just no economical way to print these in volume. No way we were going to, these are take a long time to print. They print in 2 pieces. There was no sort of economical way to get them, at a price point that was going to work. So what I did is I just came out with just the little bales. And I figure if someone has a junkyard, or wants to throw a few on the back of a truck, or sitting by the side, these turned out really well. Now, I just threw a coat of metallic spray on them, and they look really surprisingly quite good, I think. Definitely available in quantity if anyone wants them. Here I threw them on my finger and the back of a truck just so you could see it. I'm actually working now with Model Mechanic to come up with the design of a machine that actually crushes them. So I'll have a crusher as well as a metal baler. And if you're doing a junkyard scene and you have an OVR scrap gon, yeah, exactly. So I'm working with Model Mechanics to come up with a specific crusher that does these cold pressed metal bales. So that's a little bit about what's new this month. Tons and tons of stuff new for next month. Before I get to this, I'll go full screen and I'll see if I can show you something that I'm going to list this week. That's kind of fun. If you're in the Mini Prints of the Month Club, you would have already received this. Loading docks. They print flat. You get a bunch in a pack. And then all you really have to do is detail it, slap it up against, like a Pike Stuff building or something. And you have yourself an instant industry. So that's coming. Bruce, good question. Who makes this truck? I don't know. I can tell you it's an International Harvester. Oh, here's another hint of what's coming. I don't know if you guys can see. There's a little something there that you will see coming soon from Mini Prints. Yeah, I think it might be the Walthers flatbed. I would guess that, Bob, Steve, Bradley, everybody is saying that it's the Walthers. I think it's right. I think it is the Walthers. And I just threw some of the bales here on the back, just to see if they looked appropriate. Or right there on the back of a pickup, although I have no idea what one of these things would weigh. I suspect that's quite a heavy load. So that's a little bit about what's new. I'm going to talk about maybe 2 more slides. And then I promised I would get our guest on at the half hour, and we're almost on time, which is unheard of for a Mini Prints Monthly Live. So hi, Canadian Locomotive Logistics. Welcome. Hi, Bob. Welcome. Who else has joined? If someone comes in late, I'm going to make this available. All of the broadcasts always get listed on YouTube under the Mini Prints of the Month Club. The Mini Prints Monthlies, so you can rewatch them. Okay, that's a good idea. Well, if you have ideas of what you would like to see, email me. As I said, I cannot promise that they will be designed immediately, but there is a long list of to-dos, and I'm always looking for ideas, especially if you want to buy a lot of them, which actually ties in quite nicely to our next guest, who I will be introducing momentarily. But before I do that, add to stage. There we go. I must be nuts because I'm starting Black Friday early, and I thought it would be 43.8. Okay, yeah, actually that's a great idea, Steve. Why not? I'll take a sip. How about this? Every time I take a sip of pickle beer, you have to hit the like button. Oh God, why am I doing this? I don't know why hitting the like button is so important, but apparently it raises the algorithm and it's good for business. So thank you. I am starting Black Friday a little bit early, and I thought that it might be fun to do I've never done this before, I don't think. I am doing a sale on gift cards. So basically, it's free money. And the idea here is that you can buy a $100 US gift card for $80. So you get more for less. You can use the gift card yourself at a future date. You can give it to a model railroader of your liking. The only thing you can't do with a gift card is use it with another sale. So if I have a sale, I don't know, in January, if I have my 2025 15% off sale, you can't then use a gift card that you bought for 20% on a sale for another 15%. So gift cards already have the sale baked in. You can keep them. You can use them in the new year. You can give them out to people. That sale will be on for the next week. So if that's something you would like, if you think you will go shopping at Mini Prints in the future, this is an opportunity to bake in 20% savings right now and today. The other thing I wanted to mention is it is National Model Railroad Month, and any order this month, I think once again until maybe the 15th, I'll have to check, but for the next week anyway, any order that is over $30 US, if you type the code GOBBLE in at checkout, you will get a free set of 4 turkeys. They're available in N scale, HO, S, and O scale. You do have to pick the scale you want. So there's a little plus sign where you can scroll down and say, whatever. If you don't pick the scale and it defaults to N scale, don't worry, we'll change it to the scale of your order. But you do have to enter gobble at checkout. You get 2 hens, 2 toms. So 4 turkeys total, and they're unpainted. We will paint them for you if you would like. But that's an additional charge. Gobble Gobble doesn't work if you're buying gift cards, by the way, because gift cards are virtual. So if it is a mini print physical item and you enter Gobble Gobble at checkout and your order is over 30 US, you will get free turkeys in honor of. Okay. Oh, yes, this will be of interest to a few people, I think. Specifically, I know Jen, you will probably, your ears will perk up when you hear this, as well as Andre, and I think there's some other people here who have entered the Mini Prints Peanut Butter List mini build contest in the past. The last one was fabulously successful. If you haven't had a chance to go back and watch it, there were fantastic, amazing entries. I think 30 entries. Andre won Best in Show for his entry. We're doing it again, and the deadline is the end of the month. So I believe it's Saturday the 30th. So you've got 3 weeks. You've got 3 weeks. This time, there is one rule that it must fit inside a peanut butter lid. So in the past, I've had people send me things that look like they could be in a lid, or they've sort of faked a lid. This time, I'm enforcing the lid rule. It doesn't matter if it's a peanut butter lid or a Hellmann's mayonnaise lid, or as long as it's a 3.5-inch lid, somebody in your friends or family will have a peanut butter lid. You also have 3 weeks to scoop out all the peanut butter out of a Jif or a Kraft or whatever brand you like, stick it in some Tupperware, clean the lid out, or put some saran or some tin foil on top of the peanut butter, shove it back in the fridge. You need the lid, and you can enter any scale. I need 3 photographs sent to me by the end of the month, so that'll be the 30th. You entered to win. The winner will get a random draw. So everybody who enters, as usual, will be entered into a random draw for a Mini Prints gift card, and a number, we'll call it, say, 3 or 4 or 5, depending on how many I get. So if it's like 15 or less, I'll pick 3. If it's like 30, I'll pick 5. Entries will go on to the People's Choice Award. Those will be shown on the next Mini Prints Monthly Live, which I said was December 4th, I believe. I will post all the rules and deadlines on the Mini Prints Facebook page, probably later tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. So this just in. So we got a news flash from Bruce Wilson. Local grocery store reports lids missing off of peanut butter jars. That's right. And if you don't have a peanut butter lid, write me, because I probably have a ton of them here and I'll send you one. But I will then hold you to enter. Okay, so that's the next holiday mini build contest. The last one was a huge success. I hope people will join. I think 3 weeks is more than enough time. But I pre-announced it to the Mini Prints of the Month Club. So there are a number of people who got pre-announced and should already be working on this. Speaking of Mini Prints of the Month, I was going to open up last month's box, but we're running a little late and I want to bring our special guest on. So suffice to say, last month's mini box was very well received. If you're not familiar, for $29.95 every month, there are a number of people who subscribe to the monthly subscription service, and you get $50 worth of mini prints for $29.95. So I figure it's like half price. So it's like $25 for $50 worth of mini prints and $5 shipping. It's a great deal. I think there are a few people on here that are Mini Prints of the Month Club subscribers. Every month, I usually like to open a box and show you what was in last month's. But I will do that perhaps as a separate video because I don't want to run too late tonight. I think Heath might be on tonight at 9, But okay, me, Steve 87th PSAP. Does that mean that you are saying that you get the Mini Prints of the Month Club box? I believe you do. What do you think of it? Oh God, I just drank beer. That means someone's got to hit thumbs up. Oh, I hope someone hits thumbs up because it's not worth drinking. All right. So let's pretend I opened the Mini Prints of the Month Club box and showed you everything that was in it. And I will do that maybe next month. So that brings us to our featured attraction. This is a gentleman who needs no introduction. I say that because I'm about to bring him on and have him introduce himself. I hate long introductions. Suffice to say that Josh knows all things tractors. Josh is right below us in the basement. I'm going to click. Here we go. Whoops. Yes, I do. For a while now, the boxes are great and they can give you ideas you didn't think of. Well, thank you. I met Josh ages ago. Josh was the origin of the Oliver tractors. Josh knows all things tractors. I'm going to click add to stage, so I hope you can. And I'm going to say, hello, Josh.
Hi, Bernard.
Hey, I can hear you. It's working.
Hey.
When did we?
Oh, you can hear me good. Good.
When did we meet? We met what, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, I think so. I think at the Otter Valley, the first special event he had there a few years ago.
A pop-up. That's right. And you are a model. You are a model railroader.
Yep.
And
I've
yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. Nope.
I was going to say you're a model railroader, and you wrote to me probably a couple of years ago saying, have you ever considered making Oliver tractors, that you needed them for your layout? And then I kind of went down the rabbit hole and I said, what's an Oliver tractor? And I think the next thing I knew, there was like maybe 200 or 300 photos in my inbox. Because you have Oliver tractors, right?
Yeah, my dad he collected Oliver tractors for many years, and then I've got my own farm with my family, and we've got a few Oliver tractors out here as well.
Okay, so you are a model railroader, you are a farmer, and you are an Oliver tractor collector.
Yep.
So how many Olivers?
And then I've also got I currently own 5.
Wow. So what is it about the Oliver?
My grandfather bought one brand new in 1951, and so that kind of got my dad hooked on them. And then when I was little, he started kind of collecting them back in the early 90s, and they're a really nice running tractor, really smooth, and they're a really nice tractor to run and use, and they're a handsome tractor too, and they've always been around, so it's just something I've grown up with and just love and appreciate.
So let's talk tractors. So you're a farmer, but you're also in the business of tractor repair.
Right. I've got my own farm equipment repair business. I've been out my own for 5 years, and I was at a John Deere dealership for about 15 years before that. So I've been fixing other people's equipment for 20 plus years now.
So when I have a tractor question, the first thing I usually do is go to Messenger, and I always regret asking the question because we seem to go down the rabbit hole pretty quickly.
Yeah.
There's a lot to know about tractors.
Yep. And it's just like hockey teams and like everyone's favorite hockey teams. It's the same thing when it comes to tractor brands. Everyone's got the brand they love, and they get picking and goofing around, fighting with not fighting, but carrying on like people do over their hockey teams. Well, it's the same thing even with different brands of tractors too.
So what do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about Josh the modeler, Josh the farmer, or Josh the tractor guy?
Well, we can be the tractor guy first.
Okay. So you emailed me and you said, how about an Oliver? Now, why did you want, and I think you wanted a ton of them, didn't you?
Yep. So I wanted to have
So,
like well, I wanted to. I've seen some neat old photos where they have like the row crop tractors, like you have pictured here, all intertwined on flat cars. They'll have like 12 of them, like facing forward and some backwards, and so I wanted to have a few flat car loads like that, and I also wanted to have like a staging area or like a storage area or whatnot of all the new tractors waiting to be either loaded or unloaded and all that. So, and farm equipment in HO is it's really hit and miss of what's out there, and that's of any prototype whatsoever. Some of the stuff I see, it just makes me cringe. It's just a bunch of random pieces stuck together and they're saying random farm equipment, and it's like, well, it's not really that. So yeah, so it's like, this is what I know, so that's what I wanted.
sure. And I think the first version of the Oliver ended up being a bit of a Frankenstein, because I basically ended up with a Super 77 on one side and a row crop on the other.
Right. Yeah. The
So
yes.
we went back and with your help, I guess it was in September, we fixed it. And tell
Right.
me a little bit about this, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. And you explained
Okay.
it. You explained it really well. So give us a little sort of master class on Oliver tractors.
Okay, so the ones with the louvered side hoods there, what you're calling the Oliver Row Crop 77, that's actually what they refer to as the Fleetline series. So those tractors were made between 1948 and 1954. They and they had the sides closed in with those louver side covers. And then in 1956 they came out with the Super Series, and they changed the side curtains on them to make it the engine a little easier to check your oil and do your basic maintenance and whatnot. And the Super Series ran 56, 57, and 1958.
And are there other variations of Olivers?
Yes, there's
Okay.
so these are the row crop, what they're called, narrow front row crop, where the two wheels are close together.
Okay.
There's wide front row crop, where the front axle is the same width as the rear wheels. Then there's what they call a standard configuration, where the tractor isn't as wide and doesn't sit as high. There's what they call an orchard configuration, and they have these great big swooping fenders that go over the back wheels to help the limbs of the orchard trees go up and over the wheels without being ripped off by the lugs on the tires. Then there's industrial versions, and there were some other specialty versions too, like high crop ones for sugarcane operations, and so there's a multitude of versions you could get them in.
What I didn't realize, and what I've come to realize really because of you and your request for the Oliver, is that these types of tractors really cross over. There's the model railroaders that want them, like yourself, that
Yep.
want to model a flat car full of them. But there's a whole category of farm modelers that model farm dioramas.
Yep.
And it's fascinating. So we've talked a little bit about other things that people might like to see, and you've sort of helped me with gravity wagons, and we did the nurse
Oh, the
tank,
manure
the
spreader.
ammonia, the anhydrous ammonia. What are
Yep.
the things that you typically see? Like, what are the types of things that you see around a farm that that you would like to see modeled?
There's really no hay equipment, like the different balers and mowers and whatnot, that for harvesting hay.
Okay.
That's a big one. There's really not much planting equipment or even tillage equipment. The tillage equipment might be a little tough to do, but the like I said, that's kind of like the real generic stuff that I have seen is kind of an attempt at tillage equipment. But
Okay.
those are kind of some of some of the ones. Like, it seems like there are some combines. Well, I know there are more coming out now, but
Yeah.
that's kind of like, it's all the small implement stuff that you see around farms. That's you don't really see out there.
Well, that's really interesting because I know the model mechanic who's I've been working with has a lot of this stuff and is really good at this stuff. So, it's interesting for me, obviously being non-farm and non-farm savvy, to really understand, where the holes in the market are and, what people like to see. There does seem to be a real synergy between creating farm equipment and model railroading. I mean, it's
Yeah.
many commodities travel by rail. So I'm always interested. Now we have a question here.
Okay.
And I'm going to encourage people because I don't really know what to ask because I don't know the lingo. But if anyone has any questions for Josh, have you talked about making the belt drive accessories that can be driven by the tractor belt? Don't know what that means, but what does that mean?
So on the side of on the right hand side of the tractor, there's that round pulley thing sticking out the side.
This thing I see. Okay, right. So
Just
this thing right here, if you
so
can see the
back in the
mouse.
day, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So it kind of by the 60s, a lot of the flat belt stuff was starting to fade away, but stuff like thrashing machines, so they would harvest the grain into bundles and bring it up to the barn, and then it was like it's basically a stationary combine. You feed the like their stooks of grain into. That would have been driven off the flat belt of a tractor. Silage blowers. They're actually that one of those would be kind of neat. Would be because they had again, like, they gather the corn up into sheaves and take it up to the barn. Then there would be right beside the silo would be a belt. It would be a silage blower, and it would be driven off the belt of the tractor. And that they
Oh,
would
okay.
chuck the corn into it, and it would chop it and blow it up the silo. And so there's, like, kind of 1950s and older, there was a lot of equipment that was driven by that flat belt on the side of the tractor.
Oh, that's fascinating. Okay, so this would only move if it was like there was something hooked up to it.
Right. Yeah. It was like a stationary power supply.
Interesting. Okay, so we've got some interesting things here, and this is great. So Steve says wheatland. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah.
He also says
That's kind of,
mix mill
yeah.
and ensilage cutter. So are these
Yeah.
accessories?
We kind of spoke of the ensilage cutter that was that you park next to the silo and drive with the flat belt.
So those would all be accessories that you would run off the tractor.
Yeah.
Sugar beet farm stuff would be cool. What kind of stuff would you use for sugar beet, Darby or Josh?
That I'm not really familiar with sugar beet stuff. That's one thing I will admit I don't know that much about, but.
So let's move on to if anyone has questions, by all means, add them in. So Josh, the tractor repair guy, tell me about Josh, the modeler. What do you model?
So I actually do I'm leaning towards, well, I really enjoy the Pennsylvania Railroad, and I'm kind of actually been moving my ear up more to the mid 60s here lately. I was kind of trying to do transition, but I picked up a pair of Scale Trains Jeep 35s.
Yep.
And they're just gorgeous. So I'm kind of leaning more towards that area, and I'm building like a transload facility for like piggy train service.
Okay.
So I've building like a big yard and a loading area to load those kind of trailers. So that's kind of what my main layout's going to be themed around, is about the truck trailer service and all that kind of stuff with Pensy in the 1960s.
So basement
kind of big,
layout?
but
layout in your basement?
Yep. 3 side. Yep. Yep. 3 sides of a 30 by 25 foot basement.
Oh, wow. Okay. And what stage is it at right now?
I can run some trains around. Like, I've got some,
Nice.
I got track down, and so I'm down here. Some nights I can fiddle around with either decoders and whatnot, or I seem to do that more than anything else. But
and I know you've got kids.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's some nights there isn't a whole lot of time by the time I do help with the kids and do chores, and then come down to the basement for maybe half an hour and fiddle with something. But
Are they into it or not really?
and I'm yes and no. We do every Friday night we go into a gentleman's house in town and have like a small operating session, and the oldest lad's starting to come along with that. So I think they're
That's fun.
starting to catch on to it. Yeah.
Excellent. We do have a question from Steve 87th. Did these tractors come with the umbrella for the drivers, or is that newer than the age of the tractor?
No, that was an option or an item you could purchase for these tractors at the time.
Excellent. Ray would like to know when he can order Dr. Mini in overalls. So I guess I'm coming to your farm and scanning you, and you're dressing me appropriately. And I guess he wants me. I guess he
There we
wants
go.
Dr. Mini. Dr. Mini is available in his lab coat, but I don't think I've ever dressed up as in my overalls. That's funny. Okay, what about Josh the farmer? What do you farm?
So we've got about 10 cows, we got about 10 sheep, and then I do about 100 acres. So out of the 100 acres, I don't know, maybe about 20 of it's for feed, then the rest of it's all cash crop that I sell to the market.
How was this year?
It was a good growing season. We got good crops. The price isn't terrific, but we had good crop of soybeans, and we just finished harvesting our corn here on Sunday. So we had a good crop of corn, and we got our wheat for next year's already planted, and so now we just got a little bit of manure to spread, and then that'll be it for this year.
Excellent. I've actually been to the farm, but now I'm regretting not inviting myself down to the basement to see the layout.
Yeah. Oh, next time.
Next time, yeah. So you are about, I'm going to say you are about an hour and a half east of me. Is that about right?
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, this is really cool. So, I mean, I really appreciate the time that, whenever I have typically someone will say, what about something? And I won't know what that means. So I'll immediately text you and say, what's blah, blah, blah. And you'll sort of set me straight. So you're incredibly knowledgeable when it comes to farm equipment. I definitely really am looking forward to sort of, working on new things that you want for your layout, obviously. As well as, if anyone has, tractor styles that, I don't want to necessarily recreate, if someone's done something out there that's really good, but if there's anything out there, I know that, I've had tons of, is there a tractor called Moline or Modine or something?
Yep. Yeah, Minneapolis Moline.
Yeah, I've had a lot of requests for Moline tractors. They seem to be very popular. I know that, there's lots of variations and lots of brands. And, if there's stuff out there that people are interested in, I'm very interested. You mentioned you had 5 Olivers, but you have quite a big collection, don't you? Like, you don't just have the 5 Olivers. You've got a lot more than that.
We've got, then we got 3 John Deere tractors here as well. So we got eight tractors, and then my dad, when his collection was all together before he passed away, I think he was up to 14 or something he had.
And are those now part of your collection as well, or are they still at his place?
3 of them are mine. The one tractor is the tractor that my grandfather bought brand new in 1951. And
wow.
So that's kind of special to have.
So Andre is saying he would like, I'm assuming IH's International Harvester Model 66.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really endless. I mean, there are a lot of different models, a lot of different variations. All right.
Yep.
What's your favorite tractor besides the Oliver?
Kind of post 1960 would be John Deere.
Yeah.
There are some of the Internationals I don't mind. Some of the Alice Chalmers I don't mind. I did enjoy most tractors. It's kind of my thing. So.
Yeah. But you fix tractors, but you also fix pretty much anything, right?
Yeah, like I try try just like as far as farm equipment goes. Like I'm like right now I'm running circles trying to keep combines going. I'm doing a lot of service calls out to fix people's combines, but yeah,
Dave
in
wants to
summertime there's a lot
know.
of hay.
Dave wants to know: do you work with old tractors only, or do you do with the modern electronic stuff too?
Both, yeah. I'm kind of in a unique spot. When I was doing my apprenticeship and all that stuff, that's when all the electronics were coming on, so I learned all that. Plus another place I worked at for about a year and a half before I started at the dealership, we were working on older stuff, so I can all in a day I could be working on something from the 1950s up to something that's 5 years old and got 30 controllers on it. So
What do you prefer?
um it's all I don't mind any, like, I don't there's nothing really I prefer more than anything else. Like sometimes the old stuff can be frustrating too, just because a lot of it's so just worn out and trying to get
Yeah,
it to cooperate, and the problems with the modern gas going stale and fouling stuff up, that's frustrating because it's nothing the machine did, and it's just the new reality we got to live in. So
good. Well, hopefully we'll get some business your way. So let's see if anyone here needs something fixed. You've got a new contact with Josh. How do people find you if they want to see your layout, or if they want to just see what you're up to? Do you have a Facebook page or a website, or how do people contact you,
I've
Josh?
I've I've got a Facebook page for my repair business. It's Josh's Ag Repair.
Okay.
Um, I post the odd little job or something silly I find on there. And I don't really have much for the layout, and I don't have a website, so I just kind of
Are you going to start putting layout pictures up on Facebook at some point, or
I prob I probably should. I
yeah,
probably should, but
that'd be nice to see it. But I'm gonna pop by someday and
yeah,
unannounced
okay.
with pickle beer.
Yeah.
I might. I have half a pickle beer here if anyone wants it. I'm not quite sure I'm going to drink it. Have you ever grown pickles?
Nope, nope. I used to grow
Good.
garlic. I grew used to grow
Yeah,
about half
that's
an acre
right.
of garlic every year, and then we lost our I had a lap in judgment and put some rye in with it, thinking it would be like a nice kind of like a nurse crop that would help keep the weeds down. Well, apparently the rye attacked the garlic and killed it too. So
Oh
that
no.
kind of put me out of the garlic business. But
I think you know Bruce Wilson. He's suggesting that the pickle beer
yeah,
might be good for fertilizer.
yeah.
I feel like I'm getting fertilized. All right, awesome. Well, is there anything? Thank you for being on. This has been great. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you'd like to talk about?
I don't think so. If anybody has any questions about the Oliver tractors, feel free to reach out to me, and
Do you have any
we can
pictures or anything you
I can
want to
help
share?
you.
Or, I mean, I just we'll see if anyone
Um,
has any questions. Or what's a boot? A boot? Oh, are you making fun of the fact that we're Canadian?
boot
Is that a boot?
probably.
Oh, Bruce wants to
Who'd
know
you to
about
boot it?
colors. Sorry. Yes, Bruce wants to know about what the right green and the right yellow and the right red is for the Oliver tractors. What did you use? Because if I go back, hang on, if I go back a couple slides, these are your. Let me share this. This is your work, right? You did. Whoops.
No, I
Hang
think
on.
that's actually
Was that someone else who painted them?
yeah, I think
Whoop.
those are Scott Listers. Painted
Oh, those are
those.
Scott Listers. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Shoot. So, did you paint yours?
No, I think they're still in the box, but I think there's one flat car load of unpainted ones. So
Okay. So, do you know what I
the
do?
they call the green meadow green.
Okay.
The red is like a magenta red. It's kind of like a more. It's not like it's a lighter pinkier red than like International Harvester red would be. And then the yellow is kind of like a darker yellow than John Deere yellow would be, if that's of any.
Okay. I have some color swatches on my website, Bruce, when you look up the Oliver tractors. Let me just see if I can. I'm going to go to miniprints.com and I'm going to type in Oliver. And I think now, obviously, they're pictures, so color accuracy is not necessarily the best. But let me see if those carried forward to the new tractors. The other thing, no, I didn't. I'm sorry. Okay. I will see if I can dig up some color swatches. The other thing, too, is I know that who did a good job painting them? Tom Johnson, who is a spectacular modeler, absolutely spectacular modeler, painted them. And we could perhaps ask Tom Johnson specifically what the mixed specs he used. There you go, Tractor Supply. Just go to Tractor Supply and just exactly. How do you buy Oliver paint? In big.
Actually, that's I've never actually painted any. My dad was the painter, and so we haven't actually painted any for a few years now. But yeah, he would go buy them. He had paint codes for, and he'd go down usually on one of our trips to the States and get the get whatever. I'm drawing a blank on the brain name. Anyway, he'd get the paint mixed up there. So
yeah. Well, you could make a small fortune by getting big gallons of Oliver paint and mixing them into tiny little modeler vials for people. Yeah. The other thing, too, is I've looked through a lot of your pictures, and there is no one color green.
No.
Like, these things get beat up and they get weathered and they get sun bleached. And I think that you've got a fair degree of latitude, Bruce, depending on how dirty it is, how sun bleached it is, how beat up it is. So I don't think anyone's going to criticize your choice of green necessarily, because I'll bet you that for all of Josh's, what you said, 7 Olivers, they're probably all slightly different color greens.
Yep.
But I would say meadow green is a good start. And I can see what color chips I have. And we should ask Tom Johnson what he used, because he did a beautiful job on them. Absolutely.
And those
beautiful.
ones, and whatever colors Scott picked there too are pretty good too.
Yeah, Scott Lister too. So I know you know Scott, Bruce. So Scott Lister is also a good reference for colors. Okay, so let's see. It's just after 8 o'clock, so don't want to go too late. Does anyone else have any other questions for Josh? Okay, so Steve says, so I'm thinking not to use JD green. What's JD? Oh, John Deere, right? Yeah. That's a competition, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and Bruce sent Scott a PM. Good. Bruce, if you do get an answer, will you share it? Let me know and I'll send it out. Yeah, you do have new eyes, don't you? Congratulations. That's wonderful news. Josh, thank you. This has been a pleasure. I'm sure that we will have a ton more questions. I am going to have to go through all these comments, make a list of the things. And oh, Heath is here. Okay, this is great. So Heath, question for you. Are you going live at 9 o'clock tonight? And if so, I'm going to wrap up soon. Encourage everyone to go to Heath's channel at 9 o'clock and see if Heath will tell us what he is going to blow up tonight, because there's always something that tends to emit blue smoke on Heath's channel. Awesome. Thanks, Josh. I'm going to say goodnight.
No problem.
And I'm going to wrap up the broadcast. Thanks for joining, and we will talk soon. Take care.
Right, see you later. Thanks.
All right. Have a great night. Thanks again. All right. Well, there we go. I think that was quite interesting. Heath is saying, whoops, he's live at 9 p.m. Eastern, and he's going to, oh, no. Okay. Programming decoders, you are brave. Well, Well, thank you everyone for joining. I'm going to wrap up with a few pictures that I want to share. These are pictures. So if you remember, for the last couple of months, I have been sharing pictures that people post on the Miniprints Modelers Facebook group. So there are two groups on Facebook. There's the Miniprints group, where I typically post things like I'll be posting the Miniprints peanut butter lid challenge. So all the rules will probably go up later tonight. The discount code for 20% off gift cards, the discount code for the free turkeys, all that type of stuff goes on the Miniprints page, Facebook page. But then there's a group called Miniprints Modelers where I post less, but people tend to post pictures of what they're doing with the mini prints they get. This is a fantastic scene that I want to share from Jeff. And this is the ice cavern, the mini prints dragon, and he's got two of the knights, the Thou Shalt Not Pass, the Black Knight, where he's modified the sword from being down to up, and also the Dragon Slayer. So I thought the lighting on this and the pose, just fantastic modeling. I also wanted to share, this is a new modeler that I just met named Pedro Mendez, and he shoots these fantastic scenes in N scale. And he does these all in camera. So there's no special effects here. He creates these fantastic three-dimensional scenes, dioramas. That is a mini prints close to the edge figure. That's my son Max kneeling down at the bottom there. And he creates these on. I'm going to have Pedro on in the new year because he's just a fantastic miniaturist and a really talented artist. And I want you to see some of the work he's doing. Just brilliant, brilliant, brilliant photography, all with miniatures. He's not a model railroader, but he is a miniaturist and he does beautiful, beautiful work. So I want to show you that. And we'll definitely have Pedro on because he's a fascinating individual. Keith has done some amazing painting jobs with these mini prints animals. And yes, you know what, Heath, just so you know, 2025, that's like, 2025 is like, I mean, I think it's like, how many weeks till Amherst? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're 11 weeks from Amherst. 11 weeks. That's it's like crazy. So yes, it's going to be here. Amherst is like, it's like 2 months away. This is like nuts. So yes, I am. So, oops, I knocked out. Let me share that again. Present, share screen. Sorry about that. So there we go. So there's Heath's, Keith's. Those are, as I mentioned, the Facebook group for mini prints is Mini Prints Modelers. So facebook.com groups Mini Prints Modelers, or just type in Mini Prints Modelers. There's obviously the Facebook page, if you're not aware of it, Mini Prints 3D. This video, if you came in late, will be put up on the Mini Prints Monthly Live on YouTube, where I think a lot of you are watching. Yeah, nuts is right. Thank you everyone for joining. 2 weeks, I will be doing a lot of live broadcasting from Milwaukee. If you are at Train Fest, please stop by, find me, stop by, say hello. If you'd like to get scanned, that would be wonderful. And good night, everybody. Check out the website for all the new stuff, all the fun. And we will talk again a month from now. And don't forget, I'm going full screen. I'm taking my last sip of this deliciously not. Yeah, pickles. And peanut butter lids. If you are interested in getting the peanut butter lids in, you have till the end of the month. And please enter. It is so much fun. It's a loose holiday theme. Theme doesn't matter. Scale doesn't matter. Use mini prints or not, doesn't matter to me. Just grab a peanut butter lid, build something, take a few photos, send them to me. We'll take a look at them next month. Good night, everyone.